Hello and welcome to Valley View News. I'm Sunny Day.
And I'm Eva Preciado.
Israel and Hamas have agreed to pause the ongoing war taking place in Gaza. Hamas says that it has agreed to elements of the ceasefire deal brought forward by the Trump administration. While questions still remain on both sides, the Israeli military will begin its withdrawal from a majority of Gaza, and Hamas plans to release all 20 of its living hostages in the coming days.
Authorities have arrested a suspect in connection with the Palisades fire in Los Angeles County. 29-year-old Jonathan Rinderneck was taken into custody near his Florida home on a federal charge of destruction of property by fire. Prosecutors say they have evidence that implicates the former Pacific Palisades resident of the crime. The blaze killed 12 people, burned 23,000 acres, and caused roughly $115 billion in damage. Rinderneck will stay in federal custody without bail ahead of trial and faces up to 20 years in prison if convicted.
Released activists from the Global Samud Flotilla are alleging widespread abuse while in Israeli detention. Detainees, including Greta Thunberg and Nelson Mandela's grandson, claim they were denied clean water and medicine and were humiliated with dogs and intimidated with guns. Israel's foreign ministry calls the claims brazen lies. Those detained were then deported to various countries such as Greece and Slovakia. Thunberg arrived in Athens at a press conference this week where she refused to answer questions about her experience while detained.
Rescuers in Indonesia have officially closed the search for victims of the Al-Khuzini Islamic school collapse, ending what authorities called the year's deadliest disaster. All 61 bodies of those trapped under the rubble have been recovered, along with 7 body parts being identified by police. The tragedy in East Java is being blamed on foundational failures, with media reports alleging the school lacked a building permit, which is common for the country's thousands of Islamic boarding schools. Grief now grips the small town as authorities shift focus from recovery to a criminal investigation.
Afghanistan's digital future is uncertain, following a 2-day nationwide internet and mobile communication blackout ordered by the Taliban. The recent shutdown was not a temporary measure, but part of a broader Taliban plan to seize full control of the country's digital networks, according to a report by The Telegraph. Analysts believe this operation was designed to create centralized choke points and install new surveillance capabilities. The report warns that with possible assistance from Chinese and Iranian experts, Afghanistan risks becoming a digital black hole, an isolated state under authoritarian technological control, a strategic threat global leaders must address.
The government shutdown continues, paralyzing federal services and putting 1 million military paychecks at risk. The Senate has repeatedly failed to pass funding bills due to the standoff over expiring Affordable Care Act subsidies. The urgency is high. Active duty troops will miss their pay on October 15th. House Democrats are pushing for an immediate standalone bill to pay them, but Speaker Mike Johnson maintains the House has done its job. Further complicating matters, White House officials have questioned whether furloughed workers are even guaranteed back pay, a move Democrats call a pressure tactic. For now, the political stalemate leaves no clear path to reopening the government.
Trump says Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker and Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson should be in jail for opposing his National Guard order. He recently deployed National Guard troops near Chicago this past week, although the governor and mayor objected, calling the move unnecessary and militarized. Over the past week, a federal judge put a temporary block on sending guards to Oregon. Governor Gavin Newsom called it a breathtaking abuse of power. Trump's use of the National Guard is not new. He federalized the California Guard to support ICE operations despite legal challenges.
A new lawsuit accuses the U.S. Department of Education of turning federal workers' emails into political statements during the recent government shutdown, which legal experts say violates federal ethic laws. Employees say their automatic replies were altered without permission to blame Senate Democrats for the closure. The union representing the workers call it a clear First Amendment violation, arguing that the government forced staff to spread biased messages. The Education Department has not commented on the pending case. We have more local news coming up for you next. Stay tuned for more.
I'm an ex-drug dealer, and I'll be your sub today. 2 milligrams of fentanyl can be lethal. A lethal dose is in here. Who gets it, I won't know.
It's cheap, it's potent, and it's profitable.
The sad reality is fentanyl is being mixed into everything now.
More kitchen now.
Welcome back. Let's get into discussing some more local issues. With the November 4th special election approaching, California Democrats are pushing Proposition 50, a constitutional amendment to temporarily redraw the state's congressional map through 2030. Democratic leaders emphasize the need to regain control of the House to prevent federal spending cuts. They claim the One Big Beautiful Bill Act will cut an estimated $1 trillion in health care, affecting 2.3 million Californians and hurting local providers. Proponents stress the redistricting change is temporary, set to expire for the 2031 census. But opponents warn it threatens the integrity of fair elections by dismantling the state's 15-year-old independent redistricting commission.
The Los Angeles City Council has approved parking meters to raise their base rates across the city except in coastal areas. Parking meters will now see a 50-cent hike, and the Department of Transportation was directed to explore penalties for trash bins that block sidewalks or streets. The new parking rules will also extend meter hours, including Sundays and late nights in busy areas. City Hall projects it will generate an additional $14.4 million in revenue.
A recent fire at Chevron's El Segundo refinery has raised concerns about a potential rise in fuel prices. The refinery supplies roughly 20% of motor fuel and 40% of jet fuel used in Southern California. Analysts expect an increase from 15 to 30 cents per gallon as supply tightens. Jet fuel costs will most likely see a larger spike, which could increase costs for airlines. No injuries have been reported, and airport operations at LAX are not currently affected.
Governor Gavin Newsom has signed a new bill allowing more than 800,000 Uber and Lyft drivers in California to unionize. The bill allows them to keep their status as independent contractors but can now bargain for better wages and benefits. The legislation also allows drivers to cut insurance coverage requirements in crash cases, aiming to reduce ride costs. Supporters call it a major expansion of workers' rights.
To lighten it up a bit in terms of some local news, our reporter Star Eisenberg is going to show us what's cooking in our Los Angeles community.
Meatball Mayhem is more than just serving up meals. As part of the city's Shine LA Day of Service, volunteers have come from all over to take care of the community and take care of each other.
Thousands of meatballs are going out to people who are unhoused or transitioning into housing. Volunteers at Hope the Mission's Meatball Mayhem rolled up their sleeves and got to work in the kitchen.
I love the people that I represent. They're my friends, they're my family, they're my neighbors, and so to see them come together when we pull out the call that we need help to do something like this, to see them all show up, it's typical of my district.
Community members joined the Shine LA event, part of a citywide initiative encouraging Angelinos to volunteer and give back.
I think it's a continuation of an effort to keep our streets clean, to bring people off of the streets, to properly feed them, to provide individuals that are formerly homeless with dignity.
It's just a way for us to come together as a community, uplift the mayor's vision of, having all Angelinos be part of this great city, give back, increase civic engagement.
Organizers say this event is more than just about serving meals. It's about taking care of the community and offering a message of hope and support. Reporting from North Hills, Star Eisenberg, Valley View News.
Thank you, Star. Therapy dogs are proving to be lifesavers for first responders. Science shows that a quick visit can decrease stress hormone cortisol and make it easier for officers to smile. The animals are man's best friend for a reason, offering unconditional support. The golden retriever Carrot made headlines after putting both paws on the shoulders of a distressed first responder, a truly profound moment that prompted a call to action for more therapy dogs.
In Jericho, Vermont, backyard grower John Young is making headlines with a 1,765-pound pumpkin sprouting from just 2,400 square feet of yard space, nearly 177 times the weight of an average jack-o'-lantern. He's now nurturing 3 giant pumpkins this season, giving them names and entering them in fairs like the Topsfield Fair in Massachusetts. Speaking of pumpkins, have you gone to the pumpkin patch yet this spooky season, Eva?
I have. I actually went this past weekend and I picked out the cutest little pumpkin to start decorating.
I love decorating for Halloween, and speaking of Halloween, our entertainment reporter Caroline Marriott has put on her bat wings to fly around town to tell us what's happening in Los Angeles this Halloween season.
Welcome to Spooky Entertainment News. I'm Caroline Marriott. I'm here at Universal Studios where the annual Halloween Horror Nights is underway.
The event features 8 haunted houses, the Terror Tram, themed scare zones, rides, live entertainment, and themed food. The event is suitable for ages 13 and above. Tickets are on sale from now up until November 2nd.
Right, can't hang around.
I'm now off to Griffith Park. Come fly with me.
Two spectacular events that are taking place in the shadow of the observatory are Boo at the Zoo and Haunted Hayride.
Boo at the Zoo is a kid-friendly event that will take place on October 18th and 19th, as well as on October 25th and 26th. There will be animal pumpkin feedings and more. Costumes are encouraged. Entry to the event is free with LA Zoo admission or LA Zoo membership.
Now let's get the free shuttle to the Haunted Hayride. The Haunted Hayride will transport guests through a fictitious town called Midnight Falls. Hey!
There will also be haunted mazes, carnival rides, axe throwing, escape games, jelly ball, live performances, apple cider and donuts, and s'mores stations. The event is suitable for ages 13 and above, and costumes are not allowed. Tickets are on sale from now up until November 2nd. Whew, time flies. I need to get to WeHo.
The iconic Halloween Carnival will be returning to West Hollywood on October 31st.
This free outdoor event will take place on Santa Monica Boulevard between North Doheny and North La Cienega Boulevard. With approximately 500,000 attendees every year, this is one of the largest Halloween events in the world. Creative costumes are encouraged. Well, it's getting late. I need to fly home.
Here I am at Hollywood Forever Cemetery, where Halloween is being celebrated for the first time in over a decade.
There will be a Scream Halloween party on October 31st. Not only will the movie Scream be played, but there will be a neon light-up dance floor, a DJ, a costume contest with prizes, a photo booth and free candy. Costumes are required. Tickets are now on sale.
If you'd like to spread your wings further afield, you could visit Descanso Gardens in La Cañada Flintridge, Night of Jack in Woodland Hills, Six Flags Fright Fest in Valencia, Not Scary Farm in Buena Park, Disneyland's Oogie Boogie Bash in Anaheim, and the Queen Mary's Dark Harbor in Long Beach. Now you're ready for the spooky season. Must fly. Bye.
Well, it seems like there are lots of interesting and fun activities coming up in LA. Stay tuned for our reporter, Devlin Jimenez, who will be telling us more about a community event that celebrates art, music, and culture. We'll be right back.
What I thought was a complete life was nowhere near complete, but it is now.
Learn about adopting a teen at adoptuskids.org.
Hello everyone and welcome back. You know I love living in Los Angeles, Sunny, because of all the art and community we have here.
I do too. Being surrounded by so many creative people is what makes LA feel like home for me.
Me too. Let's hear from our reporter Devlin Jimenez about the Preciado Rising Art Walk.
Local art and community culture are taking center stage right here in the heart of the San Fernando Valley. Under the glow of street lights and live music, hundreds are gathering here on Sherman Way for the annual Preciado Rising Art Walk. This yearly street festival celebrates local artists, musicians, and food vendors from the area, turning the neighborhood into an open-air gallery for the community to connect and support one another. First-time visitors and longtime residents explored pop-up exhibits, saw some live music, and even got a chance to try a taste of some local flavors.
We're at a time right now in society, I think, where we definitely need community, especially after COVID, of everyone just being isolated. So it's great to see everyone interact with each other and really be a part of community.
This event was brought to life by LA District 3 Councilmember Bob Blumenfield in partnership with the city's Department of Cultural Affairs and a coalition of local artists and volunteers. The festival's mission is to re-energize the Reseda area, bringing together neighbors through community pride and support.
It's totally redefining the spaces of Reseda and changing it from one that you're just driving through and transforming it into something that you're staying in, that you're enjoying, and that you're with community in.
From professional musicians on stage to aspiring kids at the art stations, the Reseda Rising Art Walk is giving everyone in the community a reason to celebrate creativity and local businesses. Reporting from Reseda, I'm Devlin Jimenez, Valley View News.
Wow, what an amazing chance for up-and-coming artists to get their work out in the community. Speaking of which, our very own Leah Woodbury sat down with Marlene Nancy Lopez, a community teaching artist for the 1111 Collective, to talk about the importance of local art scenes.
Thank you, Sunny. Today I'm joined here with Marlene Nancy Lopez, a community teaching artist for the 1111 Collective. Marlene, thank you so much for joining me today. So starting off, I just want to ask you about the Reseda Rising Art Walk. You were at the event. How did you find out about it, and what made you want to get involved with it?
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Leah, for having me.
Of course.
I found out about Reseda Rising through my collective, 1111. I found out that they were the creators of the whole Reseda Rising project. They actually approached a very wealthy person who was doing developments in Reseda, and they said, hey man, like, you need to give back. You need to, put some culture into this community that's very much lacking it. Let us throw a cultural festival to celebrate the local heritage and the culture of this place. And so they began, I believe in 2016, and it's been rolling pretty strong ever since. And yeah, and so I was approached because I did this butterfly installation art piece for the org CHIRLA, the Immigration Human Rights org. And it just seemed to fit perfectly with the theme, resistance and rising. And, I found out that I'm like the 1111 ladies, they're very much like revolutionaries in their own way, and they use art as a vehicle to empower communities. So it was a very natural fit for me.
Amazing. And just to touch more on the 1111, can you just tell me about that organization and just about the nonprofit that you're working with? I hear that it's a law firm I see that you're working with to help with the artists. And can you just go more into detail about that?
Yeah. So 1111 was started by Aaron Stone, and I'm the newest member, so I can't give you like the greatest lowdown. But basically they have been fighting for cultural, presence and resources in the San Fernando Valley for many years. So they throw festivals and they do exhibitions, mostly focusing on BIPOC and kind of vulnerable communities as well. So that's kind of why we kind of vibrated and we fit together very well. And about CHIRLA, I got to know CHIRLA because they are based in MacArthur Park, which is originally where I'm from. And they're a group of, they're lawyers, but also community members who are, who organize campaigns to improve the human rights of migrants in Los Angeles and to welcome migrants in Los Angeles. So right now they're really at the forefront of protecting people. They're launching a campaign called We Belong Here, in which they're trying to promote awareness about migrant rights, especially the right to a lawyer, the right to not open your door, the right to be informed, things of that nature. So they reached out to me because they knew me. We have worked before in the past. I'm always trying to link my artwork to campaigns. Being a daughter of 2 Guatemalan migrants, their work was always, near and dear to my heart. So I was always happy to volunteer and help them. And so they came up with this great idea of why don't we create these really cool like sculptures in front of local businesses that will attract people and then, connect them to our services, to mutual aid, to anything they might need during these scary times.
Yeah, it sounds like you guys are doing a lot of great work. Like that's a lot of relevancy with what's going on in today's world. So very happy to hear that. Can you tell me the benefits of being that interpersonally involved with the community and just being at events like that and just doing this public work and involving the public with your artwork? Yeah. Can you tell me the importance of that?
Definitely. So as you notice at Reseda Rising, a lot of my art pieces, even my murals, are very interactive. I like people to basically get their hands dirty and give them the excuse to be creative, because oftentimes in this society, we don't really have that space. So I have always felt that I couldn't just hoard the experience. Like, it couldn't just be me and be like, this is my aesthetic, this is me, take it. Like, I felt like it was giving me so much. I started doing art to build community, but also it started having like this effect on me where it was healing my pain and my trauma. And I was like, oh my God, if it's doing this for me, it's gonna do it for everybody else. So I have to share every experience that I get. And it just feels better, not being solitary alone in a basement painting, but to share making an art piece with a community. Yes. It just gives it another layer of symbolism, and it gives a piece an energy. So I always try to involve other people's literal like handprints, their energy, their stories into my artwork, and then I view it as a collaboration. Yeah. Once I open it up for them, then I go in and put in my artistry, and it becomes something different, something that I couldn't have. A partnership. A partnership. And it's always so much more beautiful than I ever expected. So that's why the community piece, I think, is so important personally in that way. But I also think it's almost like it's a social justice thing as well, because especially in the neighborhoods that I work in, which is very like impoverished, vulnerable communities, our arts education and our creativity was taken away in a lot of ways. And I'm almost trying to fix that wrong, right, in my own way. I think everyone deserves the right to be creative and express and use paint and creative tools to express themselves. We're all creators, So I really want to have people get their hands dirty and experience that for themselves. And in that way, I think that we can unlock within ourselves like hope and self-esteem and understanding for one another, which I hope ripples off into other places in people's lives.
Yes. Madalena, it was so inspiring and insightful to learn about your artwork and just to learn about the events and the nonprofits that you're involved with and that you're working with. Thank you so much for coming here with me today. Sending it back to you guys in the studio.
Once we're back from the break, we'll hear the latest in weather and sports.
Eyes forward. Don't drive distracted.
Eva Marie smoked 12,000 packs of cigarettes over 15 years. She quit, and now there's a new lung cancer screening that could save her life. You stopped smoking. Now start screening. No matter how much you smoked, early detection could save you. Talk to your doctor or learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Welcome back from the break. It's time to hear from our weather reporter, Devlin Jimenez. Devlin, what's the week looking like?
Thanks, Sunny. Well, I hope you're ready to bust out your graphic tees and shorts this week.
Are you telling me it's about to heat up just as it was cooling down?
Well, in typical California fashion, the temperature is slowly heating up throughout the start of the fall season. The forecast will start off cool and will call for mostly clear skies in all areas. Starting right here in the San Fernando Valley, we're going to see cloudy skies scattered throughout the week. The highs will begin in the mid-70s and heat up to the low 80s, while the lows will remain in the low to mid-60s. Heading on over to downtown, partly cloudy skies will start to roll in early in the week, and the highs will move from the low 70s to the low 80s. The evening lows will be in the low to high 60s, though. Now, let's surf on over to the beaches, where the sun will come out in full effect towards the end of the week. Highs will range to the high 60s to the mid-70s, and the evening lows will range from the low to high 60s. Finally, in the Inland Empire, things are going to really heat up over the course of the next week. The weekend will be in the high 70s, and the temperature will gradually ramp up to the mid-80s by next Friday. The lows in the area will stay in the low 60s, though. We've got some cold nights ahead of us during this spooky season, so make sure to take a sweater with you if you're going to go out at night. That's our weekly weather forecast. Back to you guys.
We're about to shift gears from the headlines to the highlights. Time to check the scoreboard and see what's trending on the field. Let's send it over to Leah Woodbury to give us the latest play.
There's lots happening in the world of sports, as the 2026 FIFA World Cup tickets have officially hit resale markets, with prices being more than anyone expected. FIFA says they will be charging a 15% fee on both sellers and buyers. Ticket prices are being listed for tens of thousands of dollars. The games will be held in the U.S., Canada, and Mexico during the summer. Former Fox Sports analyst and NFL quarterback Mark Sanchez is now facing a felony battery charge due to an altercation that ended in a stabbing. Police say Sanchez drunkenly attacked a truck driver and then was stabbed multiple times during the conflict. He has since been released from the hospital and is now facing a lawsuit from the victim. Denver Broncos superfans turn a former firehouse into a massive tribute to the team. The firehouse is filled with tons of memorabilia, from signed items to arcade games. President Trump has just locked in the date for the historic UFC fight on the White House South Lawn. The event, part of the nation's 250th anniversary celebrations, is now scheduled for summer next year, which also happens to be the president's 80th birthday. UFC officials have confirmed the fight is on, and superstar Conor McGregor has publicly stated that he will be fighting on the card. Plans include a temporary octagon on the lawn, fireworks, and fighter weigh-ins at the Lincoln Memorial. Professional flag football leagues will now be added to the NFL. League Commissioner Roger Goodell says they are committed to creating a women's and men's professional league ahead of the 2028 Los Angeles Olympics. This week in college football, the number 2 ranked Miami Hurricanes are currently undefeated and taking on the Louisville Cardinals at home. For the kickoff game of this NBA season, the Warriors take on the Lakers in Los Angeles. Luka Doncic sustained a minor injury over the summer, but it should not affect his gameplay. The Cavs will take on the Knicks at Madison Square Garden in New York City. Under the bright October lights, the championship series has been underway, where the last 2 teams will make it to the World Series. The Dodgers are looking to go back to the World Series for the second time in a row. The Dodgers will be back at the Ravine for Game 4 against a strong Brewers team. Tyler Glasnow will be on the mound after pitching 6 scoreless innings with 8 strikeouts against the Phillies. That's all I have for sports. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Leah, and thanks to all of you for watching. I'm Eva Preciado.
And I'm Sunny Day. For more updates, be sure to check out our YouTube channel at Valley View News and our Instagram page at Valley View News CSUN. Thank you for joining us. Goodbye for now.